Hi everyone, Tom Kreager with the Tennessean. Sorry we're a day later. There's this thing called the midterm elections that has forced the Bootleg to join in a day later. Hope you all did your civic duty and voted yesterday. We're going to talk high school football, second round of the playoffs. I'm Tom Kreager. He's Michael Murphy. He is the guru, and you'll find out why a little bit later tonight. But welcome to the second round of the playoffs.
Thank you. Welcome yourself.
Yeah, it's going to get colder this week.
Yeah, it got a little colder yesterday when I was out at football practice. Sun went down. I was shivering. This
is the week where I'm going to be grateful that I'm in the office handling everything else.
Yeah, probably. And then the next week, I think you're going to glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I may get out there. Hopefully the warmth will come in.
Yeah, it'll be
Hopefully
nice.
Get something on that head of yours. It'll get cold.
Yeah, hat.
So before the playoffs started, it had some big news.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday a week ago.
Two-ish.
Yeah, John Overton was removed from the 6A playoffs for being involved with Antioch in a fight, a brawl. I think one report called it a riot.
Yeah.
After it happened after the game.
Yeah, and the handshake line.
Yes.
And then that letter kind of the letter from the TWS said, the handshake line is supposed to boost sportsmanship. It didn't.
No.
A fight broke out. It was
Exactly.
not a pretty scene at Overton.
Got out of hand. So they waited till Thursday, and I've heard a lot of people say, why'd they wait till Thursday? Why didn't they decide this earlier and allow Stewart Creek to bump up? They were the fifth place team. Ravenwood's reaction is, hey, we just painted our field. We put a lot of paint on our field. I think they do a lot of fancy design checkerboard on
they got a logo,
field.
all that stuff.
Yeah, they do a lot. They use a lot of paint. I get that. Why did you wait till Thursday to let us know to let Overton know they are no longer in the playoffs? I talked to Bernard Childress, executive director, because if you read the letter closely, it kind of gives you a strong hint.
Yeah.
So in the letter to Overton and to Antioch, it says basically the officials had left the field of play. So they, once they leave the field of play, they're out.
And that happens generally before the handshake.
Yes,
they're gone
because they sprint off there because they don't want to get tackled by a angry person,
even,
whatever. They get out of there.
It's not like they sensed something and they left. That's just kind of how you do business.
So they did not see that. They did not see what happened. And what they do, if they see something, they turn in what's called an incidents report. So if there were ejections, so I'm assuming since there was no incident report, there was no ejections. So that's the first thing I kind of raises an eyebrow of how this happened if there was no ejections. Did it get too? Because people tell me game got too chippy, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and I had actually heard some players did get thrown from the game. I'm not sure. We'll have to check into that.
Yeah, I'll have to find out from there because I saw nothing.
But you're right.
Nothing in the report talks about.
Yeah.
In the letters to the TLC, nothing has talked about players being ejected from everything I've read. All right, so there was no incident report. That has to be filed within 24 hours of the game's over. So they should have gotten that Friday night, Saturday morning. So with no letter, TLC knew nothing about it, and they were informed. From what I've been told by Mr. Childress, they were informed at some point Monday.
Okay.
I don't know what time, if it was early, but Overton said, hey, we are involved in a fight. We're just letting you know. So by Tuesday, they start investigating it. If you notice the videos that we have on Tennessean.com, they're taken with cell phone.
Yeah.
So that tells me I'm assuming that there's no game, like the people that filmed the game.
Yeah, or they're just not wanting to.
I'm assuming since it was not there.
Why they wouldn't,
there.
but yeah, that's not available to us anyway.
Exactly. So I'm assuming that happened there. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they had to track down a police report because there was a police report in there. It talks about some things that happened in there, how they had a code 5000. I think it
was, which is person in danger. I believe personnel in danger.
Yes.
Had to look that up.
So that was another thing. So they get that. They do their reporting Tuesday, get everything combined Tuesday, probably into Wednesday. My understanding is they decided late Wednesday. All right. Now, it's not as simple as, hey, we're decided we're going to kick you out, so we can just go ahead and call them. There's a lot of the legalese. They're getting everything typed up. A lot of things goes into that letter. These guys are also doing other things right now. There are other issues going on across the state than a fight. So anyway, so they got it figured out. Everything done Thursday. Mm-hmm. Now I believe TSA bylaws say that basically if there's something wrong with the brackets by a certain time on Saturday, it's official.
Okay.
So I'm assuming their thought process is since you've already passed that time, Saturday, since they didn't find it until Monday, my guess is even if they would have decided Monday, they're not going to yank.
It's after Saturday.
It's after that Saturday deadline to get a new team in there. So you're after that deadline. So that's one of the reasons why I think Stewart's Creek was left out.
And also, this isn't, and this is just my opinion, this isn't a situation where Overton played an illegal player and they're forfeiting. They were the fourth place team.
Yes.
Stewart's Creek was the fifth place team, so it's not like it's not.
No one's forfeiting a game.
Exactly. So it's like Stewart's Creek literally was the fifth ranked team, and Overton was the fourth, and it's just
exactly.
So from that standpoint.
So anyway, that's what's kind of goes on. I understand the TSA standpoint. I'm sure Ravenwood would have liked to known before Thursday that hey, one they could have saved some paint. Two, they could have probably started prepping for
practiced a little different. Yeah,
and I'm sure Overton's was gonna do different things than what Cane Ridge would do.
Yeah. So
that's kind of the explanation I can give y'all because I know a lot of people keep asking me about this. So that's what I've been able to find on why it happened, why everything went down the way it did.
Good stuff. Yeah, man, that was very informative.
Okay, so also last week on Thursday.
Same day.
Yeah, it was a busy day. It was
I thought that was going to be the big part of my day.
It was like the busiest day, and then I caught wind of something was going down, and let you know that hey, get ready. There's something else coming, and Mr. Football, and it was going to be released like 2. Mm-hmm. I think it was released like
10.
Yeah. So anyway, Mr. Football semifinalists have been announced. We're going to run through those real quick, and I'm just going to hit the high points on who from the area, because folks, if you didn't know, there are 9 awards,
a lot of
plus a kicker. There's 5 semifinalists, so there are a lot of people from Middle Tennessee that are semifinalists. So we'll run through this list and just mention our local kids.
Okay.
Class 1A, Zyshawn Alderson from Mount Pleasant, Cameron Whitaker from Cornersville. Good list there. I really like Whitaker. He's done a lot of stuff. Alderson's been one of the key.
Alderson, he's had a good year, and they had a runner last year, Ty Pillow. This is their second straight 1,500-yard rusher, so they got a good system down there in Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, they got a good job there. But I think my personnel, we're gonna let you not.
Yeah.
This is going to be my opinion tonight. Bryce Hanley from Greenback. I think he's your favorite going in. I would be shocked if he doesn't win it when they win that. Okay. 2A. Ethan Cobb of Eagleville, J.D. Dixon of Waverly, both are semifinalists in 2A. Thoughts on those two?
Ethan Cobb, semifinalist last year. J.D. Dixon, a little bit of a surprise. Actually, last year's winner, Gavin Stanfield, has been throwing Dixon the ball this year. The last I checked, 1,538 of Stanfield's 2,038 yards have gone to J.D. Dixon. So that kind of gives you an idea of how that offense is working this season.
And I got to tell you, I mean, he's had such great numbers. I personally think he's got a legit shot of winning this year. That would be my uneducated guess going into when the finals are named and when the winner is later named. So here we go. There. Thanks everyone joining us on Facebook, by the way, and Twitter. I'm on the Tennessean's Facebook page, looking at that right now. So obviously, if you have any questions, give us any questions, comments, and we'll be sure to address those. In Class 3A, we've got 2 on there: Cam Harris Lusk from Fairview and Xavier Shepard from Pearl Cone. Harris Lusk, I've liked that kid all year. I think he's had a great 28 touchdowns.
Yeah, scoring machine.
4 picks as well. He's done a little bit of everything. Xavier Shepard, I know it's not a lifetime achievement award, but he's had a great career there. Very deserving there as well. I have a feeling if I was a betting man, Walker Russell to me is your favorite to win that. I just think he's had a great season at Alcoa. Alcoa has been so good this year. I just think that he is probably your front runner there in 3A. 4A, we've got 2 on there as well. Bobo Hodges, quarterback at Maplewood. Dayron Johnson at Springfield. I like this Dayron
This
Johnson.
is kind of my guy and your guy here.
It is, but I don't think your guy or my guy is probably going to win this award, but I really think it's very deserving for both. Bobo Hodges had a great year, had a great career, and Dayron Johnson, of course, led him to a state championship game appearance last year. He's so much of what Springfield's all about. He's had a great season. But I think Cade Ballard. I mean, Cade Ballard hasn't thrown an interception all year, folks.
That might be your guy, actually. I'm going to change. I think Cade Ballard.
Locally, Dayron Johnson has been kind of my guy.
He's been phenomenal.
Yeah, to go 11 games right now and having not given up an interception. I mean, that's just phenomenal. And he's only given up He's only had 25 or 35 incomplete passes, whatever. I think he's got more touchdown passes than incompleted passes, or at least he has had that for most of the season. 5A, Michael Burdick from Page, Grayson Trammell from Shelbyville. I was a little surprised that Burdick got it. It's great for him. He's had a good two-year run there at Page. I like what he's been able to do there. Plays both ways for Page. Of course, they won their first region title since '99 or something like that. But Grayson Trammell is kind of in that system quarterback type situation. But I think he's done it. We've talked about this. He's done a really good job of just cutting down on his interceptions. Yeah,
interceptions are down. Win total's up. He's got a great receiver in Arias Trice, but I think Trammell's had he's done exactly what Coach Palmer wanted him to do before this season. You don't have to throw for 400 yards every game.
Or 600 in one game.
And then kind of, be safer with the ball, and that's translated into wins for them.
I don't really have a good feel on this. I like Trammell a little bit, but I kind of like Deshaun Page at Fulton. He's a great linebacker, running back there at Fulton. Kind of like him. Don't have a good understanding as far as, I think it's kind of equal. There's not one really big standout, I don't believe. So we'll go. My pick would be Deshaun Page. Would be my gut. Class 6A. We got 4 out of the 5 semifinalists are from the Nashville area. That's huge, folks. That's a lot of great talent here. Xavier Myers of Oakland, T.J. Sheffield of Independence, Devin Starling at Cane Ridge, and Woody Washington at Oakland. A.J. Davis is the only other kid on there. He's from Maryville, very worthy kid as well, and I think even T. Hodge at Maryville would have been an easy person to slide in there. I know you've been a Devin Starling fan all year, and I became a really big fan of his last week because he returned 2 interceptions for touchdowns.
He gets his hands on the ball, and this is a handoff, catching an interception, scooping up a fumble. Yeah. He takes it to the house a lot.
Yeah, I like when you see a kid like that can score on offense and defense, especially you're looking for a well-rounded guy. I kind of start leaning toward Devin Starling. I also really like the T.J. Sheffield. Yeah. We've talked about. I'm a big fan of Sheffield. I think he's been fun to watch. Seen a lot of his highlights this year. And then Xavier Myers. he doesn't get as many carries.
I would say he's the workhorse, though. He's been the most consistent guy for a good offense.
I'd probably go with Starling just because he's done a little bit of everything. I think he led the area in rushing in the regular season. So D2A, it's another one of those Nashville heavy areas. Dejuan Hewitt, Davidson Academy, Darius Heilich from Mount Juliet Christian, Kamari McGowan at Middle Tennessee Christian School, and Stone Norton at Davidson Academy. I just think it's Stone Norton. You know me, I'm a big fan of what Stone has done this year, and Hewitt has also had a great year as well. I think Stone has had one of the seasons to remember in the Nashville area.
And the other kid in that classification who's not in Nashville, Ruby Scott Ray, he had a great season for Fayette Academy. He had 1,000 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. So
they went head-to-head, him and Stone.
Exactly.
And
maybe not Stone Norton numbers, but he has had an exceptional year.
Yep, and like I said, he's a guy that they played each other, and Stone got kind of the better of him. So that's one of the reasons why I think I lean toward Stone a little bit to win that. So, all right, so now Division II AA, the Eric Gray Invitational. Noah Henderson from CPA, got a story on him, what a great season he's had with no Power 5 offers on Tennessean.com. It's a shame. Timon Mitchell from FRA, Kane Patterson at CPA, and then, of course, Eric Gray from Lausanne is one of those five semifinalists. Eric Gray from Lausanne, he's going to Michigan, one of the top running backs in the country. If he doesn't win it, I'd be kind of shocked. Nothing against those other guys. It's just Eric Gray's had a really great season, and I think it's up for him.
I believe he's the only guy on this list going for their third straight.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He's won back-to-back. So
yeah, I'm pretty confident
he
in
has
saying
done nothing to not win in the third year. I guess that's the thing you look at there. Okay. Division 2. We're into Division 2 AAA already, man.
Mowing through,
we could do another 10 classifications here. The only local person is Jackson Hanna from NBA. I think both Jacksons could have been easily on there, Jackson Hanna and Jackson Lampley. Hanna's been a great guy, and I think they've had some injuries, the Big Red have, and he's picked up some more running stuff. I think.
Yeah, spot carries, and probably the biggest game of the year against Brentwood Academy. I think he had 7 carries, not a ton, but that's more than his usual 2 or 3. He scored the eventual game time, go-ahead touchdown in overtime. He's just the heart and soul of that defense, and it's a pretty good defense.
Last year's winner was Bill Norton from Christian Brothers. He's going to Georgia. He's a kid that can easily be on there as well as being a winner. But I think MUS's Maurice Hampton, who's going to LSU, plays baseball, football, pretty high-level recruit. I think he's done a lot this year. My gut would tell me maybe of Maurice Hampton.
And I hear there's a chance Maurice Hampton could get drafted before he goes to LSU. That's what I've heard. Talking baseball, yeah. Well, obviously it's not allowed in football, but yeah.
Well, I was thinking drafts. I mean, we're not that.
He's a very accomplished baseball player, so there's a chance.
Yes, and that's an interesting thing there too. Finally, kicker. Gotta give the kicker some love here. A couple guys locally: Garrett Taylor of Oakland and Zayden Weber of Rossview. I'll be honest with you, that one is a coin flip for me. I'm going to pick Zayden Weber from Rossview just because the kickers I just don't know a lot about. I thought there was a kid from Briarcrest, Noah Grant, Noah Gant maybe. Noah is his first name. Probably would have been on my list to possibly be on there. But I'll go with Zayden Weber. I know he's had a great season. I think some of his stats, right?
Yeah, I think he was I believe 9 of 14, which that's not excellent, but when you looked at his misses, they were all from 45 and beyond. And it's not like he misses everything. He had some high 40 makes. So I think he's had a great year.
All right, we've gone through the list here. We've got 9 Mr. Footballs, and we've got 1 Kicker of the Year. The problem I have right here is, for the second straight year, they in the past they were doing a back of the year and a lineman of the year. They are now doing 1 award. And if I look on that list, I don't have it written down in front of me, but there are very few linemen on there. And as a big guy myself, I like to see the linemen get a little love.
Yeah, I think it's just a kind of there are too many. There's too
exactly.
I don't think there's a good fix. I definitely think that's valid. There are not enough linemen, but it's just kind of touchdowns and yards. That's what sells tickets.
Last year, I think the only winners were Bill Norton and Cade Mays at Catholic and 5A. I think those were the only 2 winners from a lineman standpoint. So I think that's something at some point the TSBA will have to address. I don't know what the deal is. I've talked it to a buddy of mine whose the suggestion was, and I kind of like it, is what if you did a back of the year and a lineman of the year, like you've done in the past, but give them a 1A back of the year, 1A lineman of the year. Have a different award. Just call it back of the year.
And then we can get back to just one Mr. Football? Is that what you
Yes. So you do it for each class. Invite those 18 winners to your Mr. Football
banquet,
to the banquet. Have them there. Let them bring maybe more teammates there, and have all those guys up there. And from there, you can decide who your back 1 Mr. Football back, 1 Mr. Football lineman, and you can still have your kicker of the year. I think kicker is fine the way it is. But I think that would be one thing I would like them to take a look at. That way you still have a 1A back of the year, a 1A whatever, a 2A lineman of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But you only have for Mr. Football, and this is not, it shouldn't be a plural. You have a Mr. Football back.
It's not the football men. It's Mr. Football.
I think that's one thing, a suggestion that I would like them to consider. If not, you're looking at a small and a large thing, and I don't think that works. I don't think those things. Those things
tried that.
those things bring confusion. Speaking of confusion, folks.
Great transition.
Great. I come up with these transitions and it just comes to me. Somehow, folks, we have breaking news coming in right now. Somehow, this guy right here has grabbed a 2-game lead over me in the picks contest.
Played that homer card last week, man.
I'm going to have an audit done. We're going to figure out what happened. I think someone changed some picks. We don't know exactly what. I can tell you the part of the problem was Jackson was not kind to me.
You didn't respect Jackson.
I did not respect the North or the South.
Stung him twice, yeah.
The North and the South and Jackson did me wrong, folks. They both won. So I'm down 2 games. I'm going to make a move this week. So Michael, here's your chance. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you one chance to talk to me while I look something up for me. Tell me why. How are you going to extend this league? Because I'm coming after you now.
Well, we definitely have some games different this week, and there are a lot of good games. I think all 10 of them. Honestly, mm-hmm. There may be one or none of them. I couldn't guarantee any of this, but I think we have 3 different ones. Okay. Got a lot of different scores. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Not get crazy, not let it go to my head, get too high, too low, coach mm-hmm. speak, all that.
Yep. And I know we've kind of glazed over. We haven't mentioned our game of the week, so we'll mention that in our picks. It's on me. Sorry, producer, if we glazed over something here. Let's do our picks here. Blackman 10-1 at Mount Juliet 11-0. I'm going Blackman big.
I knew that you were going to
42-14. I'm sorry, Trey. I just they got a lot of firepower.
I'm going Blackman, not big. I think it's going to be a 1-touchdown game. I think Tamikis Napier is going to be the difference. He actually had a big game against Mount Juliet last year when he was at McGavick. I think he's going to have another one Friday. I like Blackman 35, Mount Juliet 28.
Ravenwood 8-2. Remember they didn't play last week.
Nope.
They didn't get a forfeit. They got a bye. Mm-hmm. Ravenwood 8-2 at Cane Ridge 11-0. I'm going with the Ravens 20-14, 12-0. Back in the quarterfinals again. I just like the running game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Ravenwood's defense shut down one of the area's best passing game in Week 11. Now they're going to have to do it against one of the best running games. I think this is going to be a close one. It was close last year. I really struggled picking this one, but I got to go with Cane Ridge, 27-24.
Beach 8-3 at Page 10-1. Page has been one of the big storylines of the year. I'm going with Page 28-17 over Beach. I really like Cade Walker.
Yeah, Cade Walker, Michael Burdick. Page has been just one of those surprise teams that just never stops surprising us. I think they win again. I got Page 24, Beach 17.
One of the games I think we disagree on a little bit. I'm going with the Fighting Trammels here. Shelbyville 9-2 at Hillsboro 8-3. Like I said, go Grayson Trammell. He's going to throw for a lot of yards, is what I'm envisioning. Aries Trice, Shelbyville 35, Hillsboro 21, but Hillsboro is a quiet 8-3.
And they've been doing, and I'll tell you why they're quiet. Because they don't have yards, they don't have a lot of touchdowns, but they have great defense.
I never see their stats.
That's why you got to know where to look.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I mean this is a team that held Independence to 17 points earlier in the year. They played Brentwood Academy. They lost that, but I mean it didn't. This is a good defensive team. I don't think Shelbyville's seen this kind of defense this year.
Okay.
I think Trammell and Trice and company, they're going to have a tough time. I like the Burros 21-20.
And I think I said Shelbyville at Hillsboro. That's not true. Yes. They were supposed to be playing at Hillwood. I was told last week all playoff games would be there. That is wrong as well. Now they're playing at Overton, or Nick Kuchar Stadium. That's where they'll be playing as of today. So Shelbyville versus Hillsboro at John Overton at Nick Kuchar Stadium. So good game there. Independence 6-5 at Brentwood 9-2. This, my friends, is our game of the week. It was a game of the week earlier this year, I believe, as well. Mm-hmm. You know, there's storylines here. I like storylines, and I think you look at a Brentwood team that has had a lot of adversity with a death on the team, and I know they're focused on winning that for him. And I think then you got another scenario where, let's be honest, Chase Bishop, one of their top receivers,
mid-season trade almost.
Mid-season, well, no trade. They didn't get it like us.
Maybe they got a draft pick.
No, I don't think they even got that. So Chase Bishop, mid-season, transferred over to or moved into the Independence area. He's there. Adds to the very potential, very deadly passing attack, led now by Ethan Cash, who kind of filled in midway through the season, kind of stepped in that role, thrown for a lot of yards in just a few games. I think Brentwood, they lost him in the earlier first meeting. I think Brentwood finds a way. Brentwood 42, Independence 35. I like Cade Granzow. I know he's just a sophomore. I think he gets better and better every week.
Yeah, I don't know why. It might be that I just saw Ravenwood trounce Independence in Week 11, but I think Brentwood wins this rematch for some reason. I think it's going to be close. I like Brentwood 31, Independence 30.
Ooh, real close.
Real close.
Okay, so then they've got a kicker that can kick field goals.
Hit a 51-yarder in the first meeting.
Yep. East Nashville 10-1 at Fairview 9-2. This is a really good 3A game. Very intriguing, really good. One of the top 3A games in the state, probably.
Yeah.
I was drinking that Kool-Aid.
You were.
All season long. And then Pearl Cone happened. And it left me a really bad taste. So I can't pick East Nashville this week. It was too bad of a taste when Pearl stomped on them. And I'm going to go Fairview 28, East Nashville 27. I really like Cam Harris-Lusk is what it comes down to. I think he's a playmaker for him.
I do too. But you are jumping off the bus at the wrong time because Fairview is not Pearl Cone. Fairview is good, but they are not up front. They are not Pearl Cone. And that was how I think that game turned out. You got two of the most versatile guys, I think, in this game. Darius Gregory, Cam Harris-Lusk. I think it's going to be a great game, a lot of yards. I think East Nashville wins it, though, 27-21.
Speaking of good fronts, Brentwood Academy, 8-2.
Yep.
At Christian Brothers, 8-2. The Eagles versus the Fighting Tommies. Thomas McDaniel, former Oakland coach, is at Christian Brothers now. Both teams had a bye. That's what happens in D2 AAA. Everyone gets byes, it seems like.
My dark horse got a bye.
You
know who it is.
Brentwood Academy is his dark horse. You talk about Bill Norton, Mr. Football semifinals. They've got another guy up front too.
They got three guys.
Yeah, they got three guys.
One's going to Memphis. One's going to Vandy. Obviously, Norton's going to Georgia.
But I like Brentwood Academy's front.
Yeah.
I mean, I really think they've got a good front. Then you got Devin Curtis in the back at linebacker. Defensively, I think I picked this BA 27, Christian Brothers 21. I could see this being a little bit lower scoring game.
I think so, too. And I think I got caught up in the points, too. I went Brentwood Academy 31, Christian Brothers 24. It could be lower. Keep in mind, this is Brentwood Academy's first true road playoff game, not counting the Blue Cross Bowls, since 2014. They haven't gone to an opponent in the playoffs still.
And this is going to be, folks, this is going to be a game to watch because the winner, of course, gets in the semifinals. Very easily could be playing an NBA in that semifinal game.
Yep.
But BA has not, they've won the last three straight Division II state championships at the largest classification in D2. I think this is a game you got, because this is a game. I just don't think this is a surefire.
No, definitely not the way they.
This isn't a Sharpie you put down Brentwood Academy. I don't think so.
No.
So this is a game that we'll be watching from afar, and we've got some people kind of helping us too out there. So that'll be an interesting game there. In 4A, going back to here locally, Nolensville 7-4 at Maplewood 10-1. Nolensville. It was a rematch of last year's second round game. Both, Nolensville's now won 2 playoff games in back-to-back years. Maplewood, I think, is just too strong. Maplewood 28-13 over Nolensville. Too big of an aerial attack.
Yeah, I think you're right, but this is a scary game for Maplewood. I was at this game a couple weeks ago. The offense just didn't click for Maplewood. I don't know if they played bad, if Nolensville played good. It was really their defense that bailed them out, and I think that's going to have to happen again. I think that Maplewood's defense is going to have to be on its game to win this one. I got Maplewood 28-14.
Weather could play a factor in this.
Could.
Because they like to throw it so much.
And they don't. They can run it, but they just don't have a bell cow back. They kind of throw it.
The Dooley kid, Colton Dooley, can run the ball at Nolensville.
Yeah.
I just started thinking about this. I'm still going Maplewood 28-13. So, but don't be surprised if they can keep this somewhat close. We'll see.
On the fence.
Hedging
his bets.
I'm second guessing myself because I'm losing. You start second guessing.
That'll happen.
But I'm gonna catch you right here.
Okay.
Columbia Academy 9-2 at Waverly 8-3. Rematch of quarterfinal last year.
Yep.
Columbia Academy won that one. Trey Davidson, over 4,000 yards for his career. Here's an interesting thing on this kid this year. He's had run for a lot of yards, very few touchdowns. He doesn't score
It picked up early on, man. He had maybe 4 through like 7 games. I think he's at 12 now, though.
Okay,
so I think he's had some huge. But you're right.
Yeah, he's not getting a touchdown.
He's been great, and I saw a preseason scrimmage against East Nashville. I know it's scrimmages, but man, he ripped off about an 80-yard run against a very good defense. So he's got the skills. Unfortunately for them, I think Waverly gets through there. I think Stanfield, Dixon, Montez Bradley, their running back. I just think they got too many weapons.
I think this is a good week where the ground game, with it being so cold, will win. Again, I'm going Columbia Academy 21-14 there in that 2A game. And final game of the night, Jackson Southside at Springfield, a rematch of last year's second-round game played down at Southside.
A one-point game.
That's
really what jump-started Springfield's postseason.
It did. And Dayron Johnson, Brian Hayes, they all were part of that, along with, I think, Keith Jones and some of those other guys. I like Springfield 35, Southside 28. Sorry, guys.
Springfield, he's picking against them Jackson
boys.
Boys.
Second week in a row.
But so am I. Springfield scored 40 or more in 4 straight games. I don't think they scored quite as many this week, but I think they keep rolling. I got Springfield 24, Southside 10.
Folks, all these picks can be found on Tennessean.com, where he breaks down all the top 10 games in the Nashville area or involving Nashville area games this week. Folks, bundle up this week. It's going to be a cold second round. It's football time. It's football weather right now. And we're here. Second round playoffs. It starts to get interesting next week with quarterfinals.
Yep.
We'll see you next week back at the normal Tuesday time, folks. Thanks for joining us on Wednesday. And thanks for voting yesterday. We'll see you next week.